All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our weekly showcase. We're super excited to have Ohio Wesleyan University here with us. And Christine is going to be telling us all about this amazing institution and what it has to offer in terms of educational, academic opportunities, and also what life is potentially going to be like there for you as an international student. So welcome, Christine, and over to you.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to have this opportunity. I appreciate the invitation to be here, and I'm excited to see so many students joining right now. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And my name is Kristen Crosby. I am the Director of International Admission at Ohio Wesleyan University. And I will type my email address in the chat box. And this is our general, in case I am away from the office or traveling. But we tend to be an office that is very welcoming to students. I try to respond to students, reach out to students, meet with students. We're a small university. We're undergraduate only. And so we want to make sure that every student is really well supported and has the best experience so that we can launch them into becoming the best version of their selves that they can be and really setting up students for success. We're one of the colleges that change lives. I don't know if you've ever heard of this book. It's also a website, ctcl.org. Although this book was published quite a while ago by the editor of the New York Times, it really still holds true today. It features about 45 small colleges and universities that are doing things to transform students' lives. They might not be famous colleges and universities that you've heard of. They might not be in locations that everybody is familiar with, but they're really doing things that change students' lives. So I'm going to focus a little bit on how we do that in my presentation. First, I just want to describe in this picture, this is just a tiny little piece of our campus. We are much bigger than this. That building with the red roof on the right is actually where the admission office is located. On the left, we have our president's office, we have a chapel, we have a huge performance space, classrooms, and then the academic side, all the academic buildings are actually behind these two. You can't see them beyond the trees. We are actually in a city. So even though this picture makes us look like we're in the middle of nowhere, we are in a city, which I'll describe in a minute. So we were founded in 1842 as a place that was meant to be welcoming to students of all backgrounds. So we have always welcomed students of every ethnic background, religious background, cultural background, and gender. So we've never been a place that was closed to any type of student. We've always been a welcoming place, and our welcoming, supportive nature still is very much who we are today. I'm going to focus on some of the things that I love about Ohio Wesleyan that I think you should love about Ohio Wesleyan. Hopefully, you get a sense of energy from this picture because even though our students work really hard and get a high quality of education, we want them to feel that learning is joyful, fun, and that you find your passions and you're excited to learn and grow. So it's not just about coming and getting a degree. It's really about finding connections between the things that you're learning, connections with other people, and connecting to real world experiences. It's a very vibrant campus. We have over 100 clubs and organizations. We have 24 Division III sports, which means we don't offer sports scholarships. We do offer merit awards, which I'll mention a little bit later in this presentation. It's a place where if you want to pursue activities that you've done for many years, you can do that right from the beginning. If there are activities you want to try for the first time, you're able to do that as well. Some of the things that I think about our community and our students, I've put these at the bottom of the slide. Our students are curious, they're hardworking. It's also a place that's fun. Our students and our professors are respectful. It's a creative learning environment, and students think creatively. We also have a really kind community, a little bit studious, a little bit quirky, definitely humble students. And I think it makes for a really wonderful learning environment where you're not going to feel super stressed out, where you're not going to feel a sense of strong competition with the other students. And just to give you a sense of who we are, we have nearly 1,700 students. So we are a small student body. All of those students are undergraduate students. If you're looking for grad programs, we don't offer them. We focus on the undergraduate experience, and therefore all of our classes are taught by professors. There are no grad students who teach at Ohio Wesleyan. 97% of students live on campus, so that's very intentional. We want our students to develop a strong sense of community and friendships through our residential experience. We have over 100 clubs and organizations, so students really participate in lots of things during their free time, their evenings. We're also a very globally minded campus, and so not only are we looking to bring international students to our campus, we have students probably from about 30 to 40 different countries. Maybe we're about 7 to 10% international in any given year, but we also send a lot of students to study overseas. So more than 70% of our students will study abroad, either for a semester or a year, or even just a short-term travel learning course, which would happen on campus. The course happens on campus, but then the whole class, the students, the professors travel to another country, other states, to experience and take that theory that they learned in the class and put it into use in a real-world setting. We also have some wonderful dining hall hours, unlimited meal plans, and best of all, classes are small. 95% of our classes have 20 or fewer students. So many of you are coming from school systems where you've got more than 20 students in a class. And at OWU, we want our classes to be small so that our professors know you by name, that they're discussion classes, or if you're in a lab science class, that you have your own lab equipment and you get to do experiments and research. And then the remaining 5% of our classes are maybe just 30, 35, 40 students. So all of our classes are small. And the student to faculty ratio is 10 to 1. So it's a place where professors really will know you, and you can go to them just to discuss your thoughts, get help. So they're very accessible. I think we have a really wonderful location. We're located in a small city called Delaware, which has 46,000 people. You can walk to downtown in just 5 minutes. So think where you could walk in 5 minutes where you live. We are literally just a couple blocks from the heart of downtown Delaware. So you can walk to nearly 50 restaurants, cafes, movie theaters, shops. Delaware is the healthiest, wealthiest county in Ohio, and Delaware, our city, is the heart of that. So it is a very safe city. You don't have to worry about avoiding any neighborhoods where you walk around. It's a very safe city. It's a welcoming place, a vibrant place. No skyscrapers in downtown Delaware. You don't need an Uber or a taxi to get around downtown Delaware. You just walk. It's that close. And then in 30 minutes, by Uber, by public transportation, bus, maybe some students or friends might have a car, you can get to Columbus. And Columbus has the international airport there, so that's where you'd fly to. It's the capital of Ohio, and it's the 14th largest city in the US, #1 real estate market in the US. So it is a thriving and growing city. And it has some wonderful rankings, like it's being ranked number 5 for the best city for new graduates to live, work, and play. And it was also ranked by a travel magazine, Condé Nast, as a number 9 top 10 best big city. So Miami was rated number 10. Columbus ranked ahead of Miami as a best big city. And Delaware ranks number 32 as best place to live in the United States. So we're living in a small, charming, homey city, but close to a really big, thriving city as well. These are some pictures of Delaware. So there's fun places to go just within a quick walk. Great restaurants, and you can actually use some of your meal plan, your dining dollars, to eat at about 4 different restaurants or cafes within the city of Delaware. So that's a nice little variety for you from time to time. And as I had mentioned, all of our students are really required to live on campus all 4 years. The few who do not live on campus are students who grew up in Ohio, whose parents live within driving distance and they want to be commuters. But pretty much everybody wants to live on campus. And this picture here is what one of our first year residence halls looks like. It would actually be kind of twice this size because you'll live in a double with another roommate. And we'll take you shopping within the first couple of days to go buy your blankets and sheets and pillows and towels, decor for your room. In your second year, you can continue to live in a double or might live in a single room or a suite, which would be singles or doubles with a common living area. But what I think are really exciting are the opportunities to live in these themed houses. So starting in your second year, you can apply to live in one of 9 themed houses. And there's about 10 to 12 students who live in a theme house. We have Citizens of the World House, House of Black Culture, Creative Arts House, Service Activity, Leadership House, Tree House for the environment, and many other great themed houses to choose from. And themed houses have kitchens, living rooms, double and single bedrooms. They're really cute and homey inside. You still are on a meal plan, so you don't have to cook all your meals for yourself, but it's nice to have access to that kitchen. And then in your senior year, you do have the option to live in a senior apartment. So there's usually like 6 single bedrooms with a common kitchen and living room. So great housing options, and your housing's guaranteed all 4 years. We also really emphasize student support, and many of the ways we support students are through helping you with your visa before you come to campus, picking you up at the airport, international orientation, which is 2 days before the regular orientation, but then it continues for 8 weeks with an evening class. So you get to know all kinds of things in depth. And there's always somebody for you to talk to, the international advisor at that international orientation that goes on for 6 weeks. We have our career connection, which you don't just start using in your final year or 2 at Ohio Wesleyan, but you can start working with Career Connection right from your first year. If religious and spiritual life is important to you, we have a multi-faith chaplain who you can go to for guidance or figure out where that you want to go and practice your faith. The OWU Passport is a program that takes you to meet all of these offices around campus, so you know who these people are, you know who to turn to and where to go. Your visa support continues throughout your 4 years at Ohio Wesleyan with taxes and applying for internships. We really emphasize campus safety. So there are rides you can get to drive you from one end of the campus to the other. If it's late at night, campus safety will help you if you get locked out of your room. There are alerts if anything is happening that you need to know about in the moment. We have the Office of Multicultural and Student Affairs. So that supports students who are first generation, students of diverse backgrounds, international students. We provide housing during most of the breaks, except for the winter break. Entertainment. So I think last week we just took students to see the Columbus Crew, which is the professional soccer team. Outstanding academic advising will help you choose your classes, your major, all of that. And then mental health and well-being, because these are stressful times when you're in college, growing, changing in a new environment, living with new people, taking intensive classes. So we've got great support for mental health and well-being. In terms of academic programs at OWU, we've got over 70 majors to choose from. Some of the popular majors with international students include communications, international studies, computer science, and business. Biology is our most popular major. And then we have some other kind of unique majors like zoology, astrophysics, exercise science and human kinetics, sociology. And I'm really excited that starting next year, we'll be offering engineering as a major. So it's not one of our most popular majors yet, but I do think that a few years from now, it'll probably be one of our most popular majors. And we're expanding our science center to accommodate a brand new engineering major. One of the things that makes Ohio Wesleyan special, and this is how we change students' lives, is that we don't just offer internships, we don't just offer research, we require it and we guarantee it. So every student is guaranteed multiple opportunities to connect learning to real world experiences, real world problem solving. We provide funding for travel, for equipment, for living expenses. We call these opportunities and experiences connection experiences because they connect your learning to real world settings. So these are all international students pictured here. And the student in the upper left was a neuroscience major, and he went to the Harvard MIT Broad Institute to do research on Alzheimer's. The student in the middle did a travel learning course that went to Japan to study the space industry there. We have students who intern at the Mayo Clinic, at the Oak Ridge Institute in Tennessee. It's not just for STEM majors either. So we've got research for all of our students and internships, especially for business majors. So you'll get to work in different companies, different places around the world, not just in Ohio. So your internship isn't just going to be in Ohio, but it could be in Hong Kong, it could be in London, it could be in Bogota, it could be in New York City or San Francisco. So that is something that we'll guarantee for every student. And then I also mentioned we have the travel learning courses that take place on campus. And this is a travel learning course that went to Japan to study soil science. And they actually not only got to go to a conference and network with professionals, but they got to go and really study soil science, literally field trips to fields of soil, and apply how that affects, all the food that we grow and things like that. Let's see, in terms of the application process, pretty straightforward. We are what's called rolling admission. And even though we have deadlines, you can really apply anytime between now and March 1st, and you'll get your decision in about 3 weeks once your application is complete. We actually waive the English proficiency exam for students from Nigeria. So you might see it for about a few hours in your portal when you first apply, but then 24 hours later, you'll see that it's waived. We usually receive most of our applications for the common application, but there are other ways to apply as well. You only need to write your one essay or personal statement. We actually do have a supplement this year, but it's not required. It's optional, and it's just why you're interested in Ohio Wesleyan. We only require one recommendation, but you can submit more than one if you want. We do have a financial aid form built into your portal, so you can apply for need-based financial aid. But we do provide a guaranteed merit award to students, $35,000 per year if you are admitted as an international student. And if you need need-based aid beyond that, it's very competitive. It's very limited. We don't have fully funded scholarships. We do kind of have a minimum expectation that a family can cover the cost of housing and meals and a little bit more of the tuition. So if you have questions about that, you can ask me. And then there are optional items you can submit, like CV or art portfolio, and things like that. And SAT and ACT are optional. So that's it for my presentation, and I'm happy to take some questions.
All right, thank you so much for your presentation. Let me see if we have any questions.
Can't believe I finished right on time.
All right, sorry about that. All right, so let's see what questions we have. Let me go to the Q&A. Okay, so we have a question here from Chuendu Njoku. He's asking, like, does she have to pay the application fee? Are there opportunities to maybe waive the application fee?
Well, there is actually no application fee, so nobody has to pay that fee. And as I mentioned, we'll start reviewing applications right away once they're complete, and you'll get a decision pretty quickly.
Awesome. All right. So I know in your presentation, I was kind of taking notes. You mentioned that typically housing is sort of like open throughout the entire year, except during the winter break. So where do international students typically go or stay during the winter break?
Yeah, that's a good question. Sometimes if students are lucky, they've made a good friend and get invited to that friend's home to stay. Some students might have relatives that they can, go and visit, or other friends that they can visit with. Columbus is, I think something like driving distance of half of the population of the United States. You can fly to 2/3 of the US and Canada in an hour and a half flight. We might be able to arrange some kind of homestay in the area, but it's not super typical or guaranteed. So it's a good idea if you are not able to make that long trip back home. And this is true probably of any college in the US. Go to your international advisor early on, like midway through the semester, and be like, hey, can we talk about what I'm going to do for winter break? And the international advisors will help you plan or brainstorm or come up with a solution, because not every college or university is going to have housing open during the winter break. Be completely closed down. Nobody's working on campus. There's no meals. We probably even shut down heat. The electricity's on, but it would be a lonely place, and you probably be not without a very warm room and not, on your own for meals. So yeah.
All right. So I actually had, okay. I'm so happy, Oluwamisi Ogunsola, you are asking this question, because I had the exact same question about the new engineering program that is being introduced at OU. So his question is actually like, is it going to be a dual degree program? But my question was actually going to be, is it going to be a straight 4-year engineering program, or is it going to be like a 3+2 program?
So we already have the 3+2 program. That's what we've been offering for many years. So up until this year, next year, students could do a dual degree with Rensselaer Polytechnic, with Case Western, with Caltech, and Washington University in St. Louis, and Albion. But starting next year, it will be a full engineering undergraduate bachelor's degree, with no need to transfer for final 2 years to another university.
So, Ifechukwu is asking a question about what is the typical, I'm fine-tuning his question. What's the typical minimum financial contribution for each parent? So you mentioned a minimum scholarship guarantee of about $35,000, but parents should be ready to pay for housing, meals, and also some part of tuition. So like on average, like if you could put like a dollar amount, like what should students be or families be prepared to contribute if they want to go to OU?
So,
Thanks.
for the most part, when we're reviewing a student, we will want them to fill out our financial form in the portal. So when a student applies, it's not just when they apply to Ohio Wesleyan, but many colleges and universities will send you an email. It's important that you open that email because it has login information to your portal. So our email says, oh yeah, oh woo, your application has been received. And there's so many students who don't open that email. They're like, okay, they got it. I'm good. You need to open that first email so that you can log into your portal. And your portal is not just a place where you see what's missing and then you get your decision. But you will see if there's anything that's missing, and then you'll see that link to the financial form. It's sort of modeled on what used to be like that College Board International Student Financial Aid form.
Mhm.
International ACAC also has a similar form. So it asks for that kind of financial information. So I'm reviewing it, and I do see what a family has kind of put as their budget. And it's important when you fill the form to fill it out with a parent. It's important that you're or guardian who's might be helping cover the cost of education. Um, it's also important, like if you have sources that you will be contributing from, whether it's a bank account or a money market account, some kind of savings, or if you have a relative, that you put that information in the form. And getting to the question, we are looking maybe for a minimum family contribution of about 25,000 per year, which does sound high. It is high. I realize that. But that also is meant to cover the housing and the meal plan. So if you are looking at the cost of, say, attending university in the UK or university in Europe, a lot of times you have to find your own apartment, cook your own meals. So you need to kind of compare those costs and roll that into the overall cost of going to college and university in another country versus in the US or at Ohio Wesleyan. Our meal plans are unlimited, so you are getting all of your meals every day. Your housing is there for you with your free Wi-Fi and heat, free laundry. You don't need transportation to get around the campus. It's all walkable. And then if you were to break down the costs, we would see it as like maybe about 15,000 is the cost of housing and meal plan per year. Our tuition is usually about 54,000. So the 35,000 reduces the overall cost by nearly half. And we do have some scholarships that we will add on top of the 35,000. But I get questions all the time, like, do you have fully funded scholarships? And in my mind, I think those are pretty rare. Like, I don't know of too many colleges or universities that just are willing to cover the cost. The cost of food is a real cost that universities have to bear, and same with things like heat and electricity and water and things like that. So that's why we have that minimum. We do have a few scholarships that are highly competitive that might be able to add up to full tuition, but they're very rare and hard to come by and very competitive. And if you do need considerable financial aid, it's best not to wait until March 1st to apply. It's better to apply sooner rather than later, maybe even early decision or early action. So I know that was a long answer to your question.
No, it's very detailed answer. So we have a follow-up question to that. Students who are asking like, is it possible to do like work study, for example, to offset some of the family contribution costs?
Yes. So I'll say a couple things about work study. On the one hand, just about any international student who wants to get a job on campus is able to get a job at Ohio Wesleyan. But on the other hand, whether you're working at OU or you go to another university in the US, you are limited to the number of hours that you can work. The jobs are usually hourly wages. And even though the US visa may allow you to work 20 hours, it's pretty rare for a student to actually find 20 hours of work. That's a lot of time to be working in a job when you're really there to be a student. You're really there to go to class, to study, to work hard, to do activities, to sleep. So the vast majority of students who do have campus jobs are usually working at most 10 hours per week. So yes, you can probably get a job, but the amount that we anticipate that you'll be able to earn in an academic year might be around $3,000. So that can help cover some of the personal expenses, books, maybe a ticket home, maybe one way. But it's not usually going to be enough to cover the entire year's worth of housing or an entire year's worth of meal plan or the remainder of tuition.
All right, so this is a little bit of a curious question for me, and it's not so much of a serious question. So when people hear university, they think a little bit of graduate program and graduate degrees. So I'm just curious if you could tell us a little bit about like the history or like why OU is called a university when it's solely undergraduate focused, because typically those would be called colleges.
Yes, there are a few liberal arts and sciences colleges in the US that have university in the name.
Mhm.
As from what I've heard from our leadership, we're called a university because we used to have a music conservatory
Mhm.
until I think sometime in the mid 1980s. And I guess the fact that we had a music conservatory was one of the designations that gave us, university, that we could claim university in that title. And even though we are liberal arts and sciences in terms of undergrad only, classes taught only by professors, small classes. We do have pre-professional programs. So a lot of liberal arts colleges don't offer business or engineering. Some of them do. We also offer pre-law, pre-med, pre-dentistry, pre-vet. So I think that we have a little bit more of a pre-professional emphasis than a lot of small liberal arts colleges might have.
Oh, thank you. I was just super curious about curious about that. All right, so I don't see any more questions. Chwende is well that quite. I think you did. Do you have an airport pickup transportation system? Do you pick up students, international students from the airports? Yes, you
Yes,
do.
so we'll start communicating with you right after you decide to enroll and you pay that enrollment deposit. And I will create a WhatsApp group for all of my new students with our international advisors and students. And we will let you know over and over and over again the date to arrive. So there's one date that we allow students to arrive, but we will pick you up at the airport, whether you arrive at 6 a.m. or midnight on that day. We've got a team of our ambassadors who will be there waiting for you when you come down the escalator to go get your baggage. They'll help you, they'll bring you to campus, help you move in, and then orientation starts the next day. If your country only has flights that maybe arrive every few days a week, and you arrive, like, say, the day before, we can arrange for you to stay in an airport hotel. And then the next morning, you just take the little airport shuttle. We meet you and then bring you to campus. And some students will choose to come a few days early, a week early, go to another state and stay with relatives, and then take that final flight and come to campus. So that's also an option for some students. And we do have a summer bridge program, which is a great option for students who want to start their college experience early. It's for about 40 students, international, US multicultural, first generation, really anybody who wants to be part of the bridge program. We cover all the costs of meals and housing during that 3 weeks. And it's kind of like an intensive workshop on, how to be a successful college student and how to get to know campus and things like that. So we also would pick you up if you're coming for that bridge program, which would start in mid-July.
All right. Thank you so much for telling us all about OWU, and for our audience as well for joining in and for being very engaged and engaging. I think the last question, which you've already answered, is from Cassie Mobi, who is asking if there's any application fee waiver. And congratulations, there is actually no application fee at all to apply to OWU. So you don't need an application fee waiver because there is no application fee. All right. So for more information, you can always visit Ohio Wesleyan University on their website. It's here in the chat for everyone to visit. And you can also find Christine's email address and the international office email address in the chat as well. So thank you everyone for joining us. I hope that you're going to visit the website, get more information, visit their social media handles to get a better feel of the university and see if it could be, or if it is a good fit for you. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Well, morning for you, but it's end of the day for us. And for everyone, oh yes, check out the videos on YouTube as well.
Yeah. And if you do want to get information about Ohio Wesleyan, you can sign up on our website. And I do offer monthly webinars on different topics like financial aid and research and general topics. And some of those are also already on YouTube, so you can see the ones I've done in the past.
Awesome. Thank you so much for providing really amazing resources for our students. And yeah, so please make sure you check all those out, and we look forward to next week. We don't have a session because it's our college fair week next week and the in-person college fair. So we'll be meeting again upper Thursday to discover another hidden gem of universities in the US. So thank you so much, Kristen, once again. Enjoy the
Thank
rest of
you
your
so
day.
much. And